Why did the most popular Siege creator at the time completely abandon his audience? Most of all, why did he return just to leave his audience again? This is the rise and fall of the biggest content creator for Siege that you've never heard of. This is the story of Shock. So who is Shock? As of right now, Shock is a content creator for a game called The Finals. Shock posts gameplay clips to his channel and shows off his exceptional mechanics similar to Siege content creators like Skittles and Spoit, but just for a different game.
Boy, you can probably run me. Nice. And they didn't talk.
Shock has over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 100,000 followers on Twitch, but most of this following actually came from Rainbow Six Siege. So why did Shock make the switch to the finals? To answer this question, we have to rewind to December 1st of 2015. This is the day that Rainbow Six Siege was released to the public, and when it was released on Xbox, Shock was immediately hooked. After a year of playing console and getting pretty good at the game, he eventually bought a laptop in 2016. This wasn't really because he wanted to switch to PC, but more so that he had a place to save and upload clips to YouTube where he would be able to save clips for fun. None of these clips are public or have ever been seen by the public, and for now, Shock intends to keep it this way. It actually wasn't until January 18th of 2018 that he would publish his first piece of real content after switching from a laptop to a PC. And even for his first video, it was clear that Shock was good at the game. After this, Shock would post semi-consistently for the better part of 2 years until he started uploading montages with quality thumbnails and good video footage. The footage in these videos was not only high quality, but it was actually footage from his time as a semi-professional player in Challenger League. You see, Shock's main goal initially was never to be a content creator. Content creation was just something he did on the side. The main thing he was trying to do was to become a pro. He was actually one of the more promising underage pros at the time as well, teaming up with the likes of J90, Iconic, Ryan, and Quantum. This team was named Team Xeno, and they were rated as the best underage team globally for a while. That was until later down the line when it all came crashing down for Shock. You see, before Shock had ever joined the team, Shock and Iconic had beef. Iconic didn't really like Shock because of quote-unquote ranked drama, and their personalities would seem to clash while on the team afterwards. And their personalities would seem to clash while on this team the entirety of Shock being there. Iconic made it known throughout the entire team's history that he didn't like Shock, and made it a point to belittle everything he did, purely for the fact that he didn't like him. Or that's at least what Shock has said. We'll never know the full story behind why Iconic didn't like Shock, but to be honest, he never told him. It got to such a boiling point between the two that after Iconic was talking bad to him in a scrim, Shock announced that this would be his last scrim with the team and left shortly after. This was the height of his Siege Pro career, and after this, he would go full send into content creation. This leads us from the start of Shock to the rise of Shock. At this point, Shock knew that he was good. It was plainly obvious, and he wanted to show the world. So in 2019, Shock would sign to Disrupt Gaming, where he would start making tips and trick videos instead of gaming clips for the first time in his career.
I've had a lot of people ask me what my aim training routine is, so I thought I could make a quick little video for you guys explaining how to improve your aim.
He would do this on and off for about a year, and he gained pretty good credibility for these videos. At this point, he was a Siege household name, not only for his aim, but his popularity in the community as a whole. That was until he would upload his first video that would absolutely change everything for him and skyrocket his career to the biggest Siege YouTuber at the time. This video was titled No Recoil SMG 11 Main. This video went on to get 84,000 views, which for him at the time was massive because he was averaging around 7,000 views on every single video. So what was so different about this video than his others? Well, first of all, the thumbnail looked way cleaner. On one hand, you had his previous thumbnail styles where the champ logo was always in the bottom left and everything was outlined in yellow with pink text. To the human eye, this was the opposite of eye-catching and caused a lot of his videos to actually fail. On the other hand, this new thumbnail still had the appeal of the champ logo, but it didn't have any text and nothing was outlined poorly. It was simple, the colors didn't offend the eyes, and it just felt more pleasing to look look at. Not only was the thumbnail style better, but it was also more cohesive with the casual run and gun style of content that he was doing. Instead of doing tips and tricks in this video, he did exactly what the thumbnail advertised, and it was just satisfying to watch. This formula of simple thumbnails with casual entertaining clips would go on to do absolute numbers for him. This formula worked so well that you have other content creators that even to this day clearly have taken inspiration from him. This style of making content eventually got him from averaging around 5,000 views per video to averaging 50,000. He was official now, and everyone knew who he was, but he wasn't quite #1 yet. That was until 2 years ago when Shock would completely change up his style of content from doing gameplay clips to hosting community events. Videos like Can 5 Golds Beat 5 Plats in Rainbow Six Siege, to videos like 1 pro player versus 2 of every rank. You get the idea. He had a Discord community at this point and used them to make content, and it was working.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we have an insane gold, probably someone who should be a little bit higher of a rank. It's gonna be my editor. Okay, he's silver right now, but he's gold all time. And we're going to be putting him into this emerald lobby and seeing what he's going to do.
These types of videos got him from averaging 50,000 views per video to averaging over 500,000 views per video. That is absolutely insane, with his most viewed video right now having over 3 million views, and even with some of these videos reaching over 2 million views on multiple occasions. Shock even went on to make money with other means, such as Sick Shot Academy and other coaching services. With Sick Shot Academy, he'd collaborate with other huge content creators, even collabing with Jinxie himself. This is where Shock had his peak. The only people now averaging anywhere near Shock's average and his peak are people as big as Jinxie, solidifying Shock as the biggest content creator for his time, even if it wasn't for that long. But as you already know, the top of the cliff can have a steep fall, and fall Shock did. So what exactly happened to Shock? Well, at first, nothing really. What more importantly happened that affected his career negatively was what happened to the game as a whole. Around Operation High Caliber, the game was at an all-time low, not only in its player count, but the quality of the game itself was just bad. For a content creator, being in the Siege scene absolutely sucked, because there was really no new content. You had Thorn, the new operator, who was bad, and the new Outback rework, which was also still pretty bad. And that was pretty much it. With nothing new to go off of, the game was, for lack of a better word, dying. And even the best content creators like Shock suffered because of it. Not only was the game dying, but in Operation Heavy Metal, Rainbow Six Siege would have the start of its now current cheating problem. With cheaters on the rise and Ubisoft not putting as much effort into their game as they once were, Shock had a decision to make. He could stay with the game and gamble fizzling out of any views while the game slowly dies, or he could make a gamble. And after weeks of thought, he finally made a decision. He was going to try to make content for a new and hot upcoming game called The Finals. But he didn't immediately just switch yet. All he did was upload the Finals content and some Rainbow Six Siege content at the same time. That way he could still test the new game's viewership to see if he wanted to make that switch while not completely alienating his audience if he didn't end up wanting to switch anyways. And just like on Siege, Shock on The Finals was a quick learner.
Killed one. I'm just gonna steal. I can't. Dead. I'm stealing. One more. He's low.
After uploading just his first Finals video, it got over 100,000 views. To be fair, in this video, he breaks the world record kill count for the game, so to be safe, he kept on testing just to make sure this wasn't a one-hit wonder. A week later, all of his Siege videos still did terribly, while his Finals videos seemed to be doing better and better each video he made, which made Shock eventually make the hard decision to leave Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege forever. Well, kinda forever. After Shock had been uploading the Finals content for a while, about a few months, he was set on staying in the game, uploading this video titled "I'm Done with Rainbow Six Siege." In this video, he went on to why he quit, naming things like cheaters, lack of content, poor server management, and other reasons.
It is in the worst state it has ever been in multiple aspects, which we'll get into here in a minute. And because of that, creating content has been nearly impossible. From the perspective of enjoying creating content and even just being able to do it with, as you guys know, the servers have been down, the cheater issues, all of that good stuff. But we're gonna go into all of that. That was the quick TLDR.
In that video as well, as he's talking, it's purely gameplay of his first 2 games back after playing nothing but the finals for months. And as you may have already known, both of these games in the video immediately had cheaters in them. He also talked about how lack of content was ruining the game too.
Siege normally has like 3,000 to 6,000 viewers, live viewers on Twitch, which is really bad. Not to mention all of the top content creators, and again, this is not a diss on anybody, but all of the top content creators, including myself, including Varsity, Bolo, Spoit, whoever you want to mention, for the most part, has seen significant decreases in their viewership. And basically what's happened is there's so many different content creators trying to produce content on the game, but Ubisoft is not implementing enough new content for us all to make content on it. There's basically way too many of us all trying to do the same thing, right? So I think that has kind of, affected my channel quite a bit. It's affected a lot of people's channels, but it's ultimately on Ubisoft, in my opinion. A lot of it is on Ubisoft for just not supporting their game, not adding enough new content for people to actually make videos on. For example, when we do the capture events, which is basically when the content creators play the new season early, I started doing those back in Shadow Legacy. That was my first season ever playing the new season for Siege early. And I was with all the content creators, Macy J, King George, everybody's there playing. And it was great because that was the season we got new optics. That was the season 0 came out. There was a lot of changes. The new optics was the biggest. I think we got the Chalet rework as well. There was a lot that happened in that season, and it was great. But as time went on, all of us in the capture events kind of started to complain that there just wasn't enough for us all to record. Ubisoft would invite dozens and dozens of us content creators into these capture events, and there would be one new operator to play, and oftentimes no new map, no new secondary gadgets, no new weapons, and just some slight balancing changes. And while that's okay for a little while, we've been going on years and years and years of no new content. And unfortunately, I think this is kind of just where it's left us.
Comparing that game that was unbalanced and had bad server management and had multiple cheaters the first game he was back to the game that he'd been playing for months that he had gotten more viewership on and was more fun, the decision for him was easy. If the game of Siege was so bad though, what made him eventually come back, at least temporarily? To find the answer to this question, I had to actually DM Shock myself, and the answer was because he wanted to sub into a tournament for a friend that couldn't make it in the Siege tournament. He didn't actually want to come back to Siege. This wasn't him trying to test the waters to see if maybe he wanted to return. He literally just did it because he wanted to do something for a friend. That is it. Sure, he was able to farm content from this tournament that he could upload, like this video titled "I Went Undercover in a Pro-Only Tournament," but after this tournament was done, content-wise, Shock would never touch Siege again on his YouTube channel, leading him to only play the finals even to this day. Now that we've gone over the rise, peak, fall, and why Shock left the game, let's talk about where Shock is now. Shock, to this day, still makes content for the finals. He averages around 15,000 views per video, but to be honest, if he started playing Siege again, he'd probably average even less just due to the state of the game right now. Shock has since gone on to talk about how if the cheater problem in Siege is resolved, that he would make a comeback, because to a certain extent, Siege is the game that gave him everything he has. It's his favorite game ever, and the game that he grew up playing the most. It's just unfortunate that it got ruined by a number of things that gave him no choice but to switch to a different game. With cheaters right now actually at a low compared to other seasons, due to the biggest R6 cheat manufacturer discontinuing their cheats for Siege, maybe Shock will make a comeback. But even without rage cheaters, there's still wall hackers and people using DMAs almost half of every high-level game you play right now, so maybe he'll come back or maybe he won't. Something that is undeniable though, whether he does make a return or not, is that Shock's impact on the game as a whole and the legacy he left behind is immeasurable, and the Siege scene wouldn't be the same without him.
Ultimately, I don't think that everything is so bad. I think Siege is in an okay spot. I don't think it's officially dead. There are still people playing it. There are still people making a living off of producing content on it. So by no means is Siege dead, but for me, it is dead. I think the Siege that I knew and the Siege that I fell in love with no longer is what it is today. And for that reason, I just really don't want to continue playing it. After 8 years of playing the game, I feel like it's time to move on to bigger and better things. But as I said before, I'm really hoping that Ubisoft is able to come back with some sort of an update, maybe a Siege 2, I really don't know. But hopefully they're able to do something to curb the amount of cheaters in the game, increase the server stability, and really bring the balancing back, as well as some new content. Just bring some, fresh air into the game. It really needs something to get it back and going.
But with that out of the way, that is it for today's video. Check out this next video, and I hope we'll see you there later.